Okay, good morning. Welcome to our third Meet the SU session. I am delighted to be joined by our very own Kira Davis and Will Fuller today. They're going to introduce themselves, tell you a little bit about their role in the SU, a little bit about themselves actually, which is really important. Any questions that you have during this particular session, please add to the comment box and we will try to get back to you, whether it be during this session itself or in a couple of days' time. So yes, over to William and Kira to give themselves a little bit of intro. Kira, can we start with you first, if possible?
So I'm Kira Davis. I'm the Vice President of the Students' Union for this year. I'm in my second sabbatical term, so I was around last year as well. I'm manager of the netball club as well, so you probably see me in the sporting world a little bit as well. And my role as Vice President is to look after student voice, student engagement, trying to get as much feedback as possible from those students. I head up the representation structure, so all the feedback comes to me, and then we feed it all the way up into any committees or meetings that are relevant. And then most importantly, we tell you where your feedback has gone and what we have done with it.
So you do quite an awful lot, Kira Davis. That's fantastic. Mr. Fuller.
Yeah, so I'm the Director of Student Engagement for the Students' Union. I was a student at Cardiff Met several years ago and found a real sense of purpose for my time at Cardiff Met through the Students' Union in various different roles. And I'm just glad I can give back now within this role. But my primary purpose is to support the sabbatical officers, to help them achieve their aims and their manifestos throughout the year, to look after the sort of admin side of the representation structure. I work with all the Students' Union staff to deliver student engagement across the piece.
That's fantastic. Okay, so as discussed, we've got some questions. And naturally, there'll be some questions which appear hopefully in the comment box, so we can answer these actually on the day. So the first question, this is open to either of you. I've come into Cardiff Met, I'm a little bit unsure. What actually is a student rep?
Okay, so a student rep is someone that is either nominated or volunteers themselves to basically put themselves forward as the main spokesperson of their cohort. This could be their personal tutor group, it could be their course, it could be a department, and they're all different levels of our rep structure. Usually as a first year, you'd end up being a course rep. That's not to say you can't have any other position in the rep structure. We've had lots of first years that have been maybe a lead rep as well. And your role is to essentially collect feedback from your cohort, both maybe areas to improve as well as positive feedback. Positive feedback is just as important. You would feed that through the representation structure using your lead reps and your school reps. If anything needs to go any higher, it then comes to me. And then hopefully the feedback is acted upon or to create a better student experience here at Cardiff Met.
Yeah, it's similar to maybe a school council or a college council that you may have seen at previous places of study. And as Kira says, the primary purpose of it is to make sure that what students are saying is listened to and acted upon. We've put a structure in place that helps to do that. You can obviously find out more about that on the website or in the essential guide, and you can see who represents your school as a school rep, and you can see who the president and vice president is for this year. But it's all about listening to students, acting upon what's being said, and trying to make the university a better place.
Okay, that's kind of answered my second question, Will, about what is the rep structure, but that's fantastic. Signposting is accurate amongst the Students' Union. That's what we're about. We've mentioned a few different types of rep here. So what are the differences between student rep, course rep, lead rep, and group rep? This is open to anybody.
Okay, so maybe we'll start from a school rep. So the school rep is the main figurehead of their school. They are selected by myself and the president for the year. So vice and president will pick the new school rep team. They're through interviews, they send a CV and a cover letter. So it's like applying for any other job. They're incredibly passionate people. Our school rep team this year is absolutely brilliant as well. So make sure you keep an eye out for those on their social media or maybe in your schools. And then they are essentially the head of their school for representation. The feedback should all come to them. They sit in committees, which then they can pass that feedback on and have it acted upon. Then we move down to lead rep. So this is a team that help the school rep. This can either be, so they're either responsible for a year group, so it could be level 4, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7. And then we might have some postgraduate taught and postgraduate research this year as well. So that might be split in some schools. And the lead rep's job is to basically have support to the school rep, and they collect the feedback within that specific department or year, and then it gets fed up to the school rep afterwards. So it's almost like a team to help the school rep, just as much as the school reps are a team to help me. So it all kind of feeds down that way. Then moving on to course rep. So I did mention earlier that it could be anyone, first year, second year, third year, and normally you would represent your course. And then you would sit in the program committees for your specific course as well. And then you would also feed feedback up to the lead rep, which then passes up again through the structure. Group reps are specifically for courses that are a little bit bigger. So course reps might feel that they're very overstretched if they didn't have group reps underneath, especially in big courses. So it is for a certain amount of students, we need a certain amount of reps. And you will find that out when you sit in lectures. They will explain to you, especially your personal tutor as well. They'll explain to you how many reps are needed for that particular course. So yeah, it all works really well. Feedback gets kind of fed up through the levels, and it does come off in certain committees as well. So every rep has an opportunity to sit in a committee themselves and to pass their own feedback over, but perhaps things need to come up a little higher, and that's where that structure really comes into play.
Yeah, so the structure has been put in a way that course reps are able, the people on the ground really doing, they're the most important part of the structure, because they're in each course and they're hearing issues and hopefully positives as well from their fellow students. And those course reps will be provided with training from the Students' Union later in the year. So if you're interested in being one, speak to your school rep, get signed up, and there will be training provided for you. And we want you as course reps to be able to deal with local level issues, anything to do with your course. You go and speak to your program director. As a lead rep, they're probably going to be speaking with program teams, potentially the dean alongside the school rep. And the bigger the issue, the higher up it gets passed. And as an SU, we sit at the highest level of all boards and committees of the university, and there's a voice at every level to make change. So yeah, if you're interested in being a course rep, definitely please get in touch, because we want you to help us make a difference.
Okay, that's answered 4 of the questions that I've got on this list. That's superb from you both. Mines of information. All right, so we've mentioned about how we get involved in the rep structure, what the actual rep structure is, the differences between different levels of course rep, group rep, lead rep, and school rep too. What type of training do we give to our reps of whatever description, and how do we go about getting involved in it?
So with our school reps, we do provide them, as well as our part-time officers, so they sit in our representation structure as well. So we provide them with kind of more intense kind of training. This year we've actually been really lucky that we've been able to have several touch points with them over the summer as well. So they have been kind of being fed information slowly, which they can then take in, process, and they can essentially start the ground running with us then. So with the course reps, they then have training usually on a Saturday, because that's the only time where all students seem to be free. It's really, really difficult to get everyone in a room together. Normally our Saturday is so well attended. You get to meet reps across all different schools, all different cohorts, and you'll be able to network as well. It's not just because you're a course rep maybe for the School of Management doesn't mean you can't learn something off someone who's a rep for education and social policy, and that's a really good kind of learning environment that we provide for course reps. Obviously, if they aren't available to attend a Saturday due to part-time work or something like that, we then provide mop-up sessions. So myself and Will last year did lead some extra sessions afterwards where course reps could attend. So we make sure that every single course rep in the university has an opportunity to attend some sort of training. Obviously this year it might look a little bit different. So we were able to actually get our school reps and part-time officers in for a week on campus to do some training, but all of our touch points throughout the summer are online. And then for our course reps, it might be that we provide some online training for them as well, which actually works really well from our experience with the school reps. And that might be something that we then try and replicate for our course reps too.
Yeah, the main purpose of the training is to support the reps of any level to be effective in the role. The primary purpose of a rep is to be able to speak to their course mates and gather feedback. So we'll be providing training on how to do that, ways to be effective in that role. And it's really important that we recognise the value of these people as an SU. These people represent the academic interests of their fellow students. So we need to make sure they're supported, not just on that training date, but throughout the year, and that we're open as an SU to any feedback from any student at any time throughout the academic year.
Okay, probably rounded off the amount of questions that I've got. Is there anything that I've missed as a presenter for this particular session that you'd like to add, either of you?
I think I would kind of like to say that our representation structure is one of our main priorities here in the SU. We put a lot of time and effort into ensuring that it's really, really good quality throughout the year. If anyone is interested in becoming a part of the representation structure, wants to know more about how to become maybe a school rep, a part-time officer, or even a sabbatical officer as well, they can come and talk to us. We can tell them some more information. All of that information is on our website and across our social media. You will see our school reps on their own social media profiles as well. So if you are interested in becoming a rep in your own school, make sure you're following those. But no feedback is bad feedback. We want every type of feedback to come through. Even if you think it's the smallest issue or the smallest problem, it could make a really big difference. When someone mentions one part of feedback, that doesn't mean that 20 other people aren't thinking it. It's just you've come forward to present it. So really think about your student experience for this year, and the SU are definitely here to help you.
Yeah, I'd echo that completely. The Students' Union is run by students for students. We don't exist without the student body. So if you, as someone who's watching this, and you really want to make a difference to not only your time at Cardiff Met, but the time of people that come after you, getting involved in the representation structure is a brilliant way to do that. And we invite all students to get in touch at any point throughout the year. We are the independent voice for students at Cardiff Met. So get in touch and get involved, basically.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for your time, both. I think anything that was missed in this session, this is obviously going to be put onto our website as well, which is www.cardiffmetsu.co.uk. So any stuff that we want to be reiterated, have a look after. Will, Kira, thank you very much. Hope this has been good for you as well. It has for me. And our students can have a look at this either live or at this particular point. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.